There is a version of law school where you keep your head down, grind through your reading, chase a strong GPA, and trust that the rest of your career will sort itself out once you have a diploma in hand. That version does not really exist anymore. The California legal market is more competitive, more specialized, and more skills-driven than it has ever been. Employers are not just looking for good students, they are looking for candidates who already understand how the profession works, who have a point of view on where they want to take their career, and who have started building the habits of a good lawyer. The good news is that you do not need to wait for a JD and a bar number to start. The most impactful career moves often happen in the quiet stretches of 1L and 2L year, long before anyone is officially evaluating you. Here is what you can be doing right now to set yourself up for the career you actually want. Most law students introduce themselves with some version of "I think I want to do litigation," or "I am probably interested in corporate." Those are placeholder phrases people use when they have not had enough exposure to know yet. Start narrowing. If you think you want to do litigation, is it complex commercial work, plaintiff-side employment cases, white-collar defense, family law, or something else? If you think corporate, is it M&A, securities, fund formation, or transactional healthcare? These distinctions shape every other choice you will make. The classes you take, the clinics you apply for, the firms you target, and the people you reach out to. You do not need to commit. You need to start eliminating. Read about practice areas. Listen to attorneys describe their actual day-to-day work. Pay attention to which areas make you lean in and which ones make you tune out. The worst time to start networking is when you need a job. Everyone can tell. The best time is right now, when you have nothing to ask for. Send a short, specific note to an attorney whose work you find interesting. Ask a professor about their pre-academia career. Show up to bar association events that are open to students. Take a clinic supervisor to coffee at the end of the semester to ask how they ended up in their practice area. A few principles that hold up. Be specific. "I would love to learn more about your career" is forgettable. "I read your recent article on California's new privacy regulations and would love to ask how you got into that space" gets a response. Be brief. Respect that the people you are reaching out to are busy. Follow up. Most students do not, and you will stand out by sending a thoughtful note a few months later mentioning something the person said that stuck with you. By the time you actually need a job, you will have a small but real network of people who know you and want to help. Legal writing in law school and legal writing in practice are related but distinct. School rewards thoroughness, polished prose, and comprehensive coverage of every angle. Practice rewards clarity, brevity, and the ability to tell a busy reader exactly what they need to know in the first paragraph. If you can develop a habit of writing tightly now, you will be ahead of nearly every classmate. A few things to try. Edit your own work ruthlessly. Cut every sentence that does not move the argument forward. Read judicial opinions for style, not just substance. Notice which judges write clearly and which ones bury you in qualifiers. Join a journal if you have the opportunity, and treat the site checking and editing work as a writing education rather than a chore. If you plan to practice in California, you need to know how to research California law. A surprising number of law school graduates show up at their first job overly reliant on general legal research databases and unfamiliar with the California-specific tools their employer actually uses. Get hands-on with California practice guides, secondary sources, and state-specific research platforms while you still have free access through your school. Learn the difference between persuasive and binding California authority. Understand how California's procedural rules differ from federal rules in the practice areas you care about. The first time, it feels like learning a new language. By the third or fourth time, it feels routine, which is exactly where you want to be when a supervising attorney asks you to track down an answer fast. Lawyers are not just researchers and writers. They are translators, negotiators, project managers, and counselors. Most of those skills do not show up on a law school transcript. Pay attention to how you communicate. Practice explaining complicated ideas to non-lawyers in plain English. Get comfortable with the professional software you will encounter in practice, including document management systems, e-discovery platforms, and increasingly AI-assisted tools. Learn how to run a meeting. Learn how to push back respectfully. Learn how to receive criticism without taking it personally. None of this shows up on your resume, but every supervising attorney can tell within a few weeks which new lawyers have these skills and which ones are still figuring them out. One of the simplest career investments you can make is to start treating yourself like a legal professional before anyone formally calls you one. Subscribe to legal publications in the practice areas you care about. Read appellate decisions in your areas of interest. Follow attorneys, judges, and legal commentators whose perspectives you respect. Attend CLE programs and bar events even when you do not have to. This is where CEB's Access Law program is genuinely useful. California law students at ABA or CALS approved schools get free access to CEB's research platform, practice guides, and on-demand programs throughout law school and for 18 months after graduation. That includes the academic and essential skills collection, built to help law students bridge the gap between classroom learning and real practice, with content on basic lawyering skills, legal technology, beginning a legal career, and ethics for new attorneys. The earlier you start using these kinds of resources, the more naturally they integrate into how you think and work. The lawyers who build careers they are proud of almost never get there by accident. They get there by making small, intentional choices over a long period of time. Pick a practice area to learn about this semester. Send the email you have been putting off. Read the case that is not assigned. Treat your career as something you are actively building, not something that will happen to you. By the time you sit for the bar, your future will not just be a question of where you get hired. It will be a question of which of the doors you have already opened you want to walk through. That is a much better problem to have, and it starts with what you decide to do this week.